days, when the world was young and the spirits walked freely among the living, the land of Guruuswa stretched like a vast green blanket under the northern skies. Guruuswa, the place of tall grasses and whispering winds, was the cradle of the Shona people. Here rivers flowed like veins of life, teeming with fish that leaped silver in the sun. The hills rolled gently, dotted with herds of cattle that grazed peacefully, their bells tinkling like soft laughter. Villages nestled in valleys, thatched huts circled around sacred fires where stories were told and songs were sung. But even in this paradise, change brewed like a storm on the horizon. The people of Guruuswa were strong and proud, descendants of the first ones who had tamed the wild. They farmed millet and sorghum, hunted antelope with spears tipped in iron, and traded beads and salt with distant clans. Yet the elders noticed signs of unrest. The rains came less often, turning the once fertile soil to dust. Herds thinned as grass withered. Strange omens appeared, birds flying south in endless flocks, stars falling like tears from the night sky. The ancestors are speaking, the old ones murmured. Guruuswa weeps. It is time to seek new pastures. From the warrior's eyes, the gathering storm. My name is Tikaona, son of Chenzira, a warrior forged in the fires of Guruuswa's trials. I stand tall, my skin marked with scars from lion hunts and skirmishes with rival tribes. My spear, handed down from my father, is my constant companion, its blade sharp enough to split a hair. I remember the night it all began, the air thick with the scent of wood smoke and impending rain. The village gathered around the great baobab tree, its trunk as wide as 10 men, roots delving deep into the earth's secrets. Mbuya Nahanda, our spirit medium, sat cross-legged before the fire. She was ancient, her face etched with lines like riverbeds, her eyes holding the wisdom of ages. As the drums beat a rhythmic pulse, she sipped from a calabash of sacred beer, brewed from fermented grains and herbs, that opened the door to the other world. Her body trembled, and suddenly her voice changed, deep, resonant, not her own. Listen, children of the soil, the ancestor spirit intoned through her. I am Muto, the first wanderer. Guruuswa fades like morning mist. Drought devours the land. Enemies sharpen their blades in the shadows. You must rise and journey south, where the sun kisses stone hills and rivers of gold await. Cross the great waters that roar like lions, brave forests where beasts of myth guard ancient paths. Face wars with those who claim the earth as theirs. Only the brave will find the promised land, where your people will build empires of stone. The crowd gasped. Fear rippled through us like wind through grass. I felt a chill despite the fire's warmth. My wife, Zvazviri, clutched our infant son to her chest, her eyes wide. What if we stay? Someone whispered, but the proverb echoed in my mind. He who fears the water will never cross the river. We had no choice. Chief Mudzimu, our leader, stood. He was a giant of a man, his beard graying, his axe legendary, said to have been forged from a fallen star. The ancestors have spoken, he declared. We prepare at dawn. Gather your belongings, sharpen your weapons, we march as one. That night the village buzzed like a hive. Families packed bundles, grinding stones, seed pouches, clay pots. Cattle were rounded up, they're lowing a mournful song. I helped my sister Rudo tie her bundle, her hands quick and clever. She was no warrior, but her songs could lift spirits or soothe wounds. Brother, she said softly, do you fear the unknown? I nodded, but fear is the shadow that makes courage shine. As dawn broke, painting the sky in pinks and golds, we set out. 100 strong, men, women, children, elders on litters carried by the young. Our caravan stretched like a serpent across the plains. Scouts rode ahead on sturdy oxen, eyes scanning for danger. The first days were bittersweet, leaving behind graves of loved ones, sacred groves where spirits dwelled. A song rose from the marchers. O Guruuswa, land of our birth, we leave your embrace with heavy hearts. Southward we go to fate's new hearth, guided by stars playing our parts. Suspense hung over us like a cloud. Whispers of mythical beasts reached our ears, creatures born of earth and fire, guardians of forbidden lands. Would they let us pass? From the spirit medium's whisper, whispers of the wild, I am Mbuya Nehanda, bridge between worlds. The ancestors choose me to carry their voices, a burden heavy as mountains but sweet as honey. As we trek, I walk at the center, surrounded by attendants who fan me with palm leaves. Visions come unbidden, flashes of peril ahead. We reach the first great river, its waters brown and swirling, wider than a day's walk. Crocodiles lurk, their eyes like cold stones. We build rafts from reeds and logs, lashing them with vines. As we push off, the current tugs greedily. A child screams as a raft tips. I plunge in, water choking me, but strong arms pull us to safety. Was that a brush of scales? The mythical serpent of the deep? Nights bring dreams. In one, a lion with wings of flame roars. Prove your worth, wanderers. I wake sweating. The beasts test us, I tell Mudzimu. He nods gravely. As the proverb says, the lion does not turn away from the roar. Deeper into the wild, territorial whispers grow. Scouts return, faces pale. Tribes ahead, fierce as hyenas. They guard the plains with poisoned arrows. Mudzimu calls a council. We offer peace first. But I sense war brewing. One misty morning they appear, warriors painted in ochre and white, feathers in their hair, shields of hide. Their chief, a scarred man named Kondo, blocks our path. This grass is ours. Turn back, strangers. Mudzimu steps forward, palms open. We seek only passage. Share the land, brother. One tree does not make a forest. Kondo laughs bitterly. Words are wind. Prove your claim in battle. Spears clash. I retreat to the sacred circle, calling spirits. Ancestors, shield your children. A sudden gale whips dust into the enemy's eyes. Tikona fights like a storm, his spear dancing. Blood spills, cries echo. We drive them back, but losses mount. Friends fallen, their spirits joining the Monduro. Around the fire that night, grief heavy, I lead a chant. Fallen ones, your blood feeds the earth, spirits rise, give us rebirth. From pain's forge, strength we gain, in ancestors' name we march again. The journey hardens us, identity shifts, no longer just Guruuswa folk, but migrants, survivors. From the commoner's heart, trials of the trail. I am Rudo, the weaver of songs, daughter of the soil. My hands are calloused from carrying water, my voice, my weapon. The trek is endless, dust coating our throats, sun blistering skin. Children whine, elders falter, yet we push on. In the savannas where grass sways like waves, danger lurks. One evening the ground trembles. Herds stampede? No. Mythical beasts emerge from legends. Great rhinos with horns of fire, eyes glowing red. They charge, breath scorching earth. Panic erupts. Circle the wagons, Tikona shouts. I grab a child, heart pounding. Suspense peaks as beasts near. Mbuya trances, offer respect. We scatter sacred tobacco. Smoke curls, beasts halt, sniffing. They trumpet and retreat. Miracles, but hunger gnaws. Rations dwindle. We forage berries, hunt game. Territorial clashes continue. In thorny bushlands, ambush comes, arrows whistling. Mudzimu wounded, arrow in thigh. Chaos. I bind his wound with herbs, singing softly. Pain is fleeting, strength endures. Ancestors heal what time obscures. Tikaona leads counterattack, cunning as fox. We prevail, but weariness sets in. Lost once in misty woods, I wander. Spirits whisper, a glowing figure, my mother. Follow the southern star child. Chills run down me, real or dream. I find the group hope renewed. Origins question us. Who are we? Shona, I affirm, roots in north, branches south. From the warrior's eyes, battles of blood and spirit, back to Tikaona. Weeks blend. We cross arid lands, thirst our foe. Mirages tease. Then forest thick as night, vines snag, insects bite, mythical birds with razor beaks dive. We shield with branches, territorial war peaks at a pass. Fierce clan, the Venda kin, fortified. Their king demands tribute. Half your cattle, refusal sparks siege. Arrows rain, spears thrust. I fight beside comrades, sweat and blood mixing. Suspense in the melee, an enemy blade grazes me. I parry, strike true. Mudzimu healed swings his axe, cleaving paths. Mbuya spirit summon fog, confusing foes. Victory but Pyrrhic. We mourn, bury dead with rituals. Songs sustain. Warriors bold in battle's fire, forge the path, never tire. From the spirit mediums whisper, visions of home Mbuya again. Nearing south, visions clarify, stone hills, fertile valleys. Final trial, chasm with serpent guardian, scales iridescent, fangs dripping venom. We approach, bridge swaying, serpent rears. Why invade my realm? Tikona. We seek home. I chant, ancestors, unveil truth. Spirit, sing of origins. Chorus rises, from Guruuswa's green embrace to Zimbabwe's stony grace. Identity in every stride, survival our eternal guide. Serpent yields. We enter promised land, rivers clear, soil rich, build kraals, plant seeds, fires blaze. Home, Mudzimu proclaims. Lessons echo, unity binds, culture anchors, trust leads, balance ambition, resilience triumphs, yet migrations whisper on. Shona story, eternal as stars. Over the years, popular myths have evolved around Guruuswa, blending real-life actions with legendary elements that emphasize themes of resistance, spiritual guidance, and enduring legacy. These stories are preserved through oral narratives, ceremonies, and modern retellings, symbolizing Shona cultural resilience. Next, I'm going to share of the most commonly associated myths drawn from Shona folklore and historical accounts. The myth of creation in Guruuswa, the tale of Mwedzi and Morongo. In the ancient mists of time, before the rivers carved their paths and the hills rose from the earth, there existed Guruuswa, a vast land of endless green grass and shimmering waters, hidden far to the north. This was the cradle of all life, where Mwari, the great creator spirit, shaped the world. Mwari, who dwelt in the heavens and spoke through thunder and rain, decided to bring forth humanity. Deep in a sacred pool in Guruuswa, Mwari formed the first man, Mwedzi, whose name means the moon. Mwedzi lived in the cool depths, but he grew restless and lonely, begging Mwari to let him walk on the dry land above. Mwari warned him, "The land is harsh and full of trials, but if you insist, go." Mwedzi emerged onto the barren earth of Guruuswa, where no trees grew and no animals roamed. His loneliness deepened, and he pleaded again. Mwari sent him Masasi, the morning star, as his first wife. For 2 years, they lived together, and from their union sprang all the plants of the world, the tall grasses that gave Guruuswa its name, the mighty trees, and the vines that twisted like serpents. But Masasi grew weary and returned to the stars, leaving Mwedzi desolate once more. Desperate, Mwedzi cried out to Mwari for another companion. The creator sent Morongo, the evening star, beautiful and full of life. Together they brought forth the animals, gentle herbivores grazing the plains, birds singing in the skies, and then the first boys and girls, the ancestors of the Shona people. Guruuswa bloomed with life, a paradise of abundance, but Morongo committed a forbidden act. The forbidden union and the birth of suffering, Morongo's sin, echoing the creation tale, another myth from Guruuswa warns of boundaries between worlds. After Mwedzi and Morongo filled the land with life, Morongo grew curious about the mysteries hidden in Guruuswa's shadows. One moonless night, she wandered into a forbidden grove where a colossal serpent, guardian of Earth's secrets, coiled around ancient stones. Drawn by its whispers of hidden knowledge, Morongo lay with the serpent, betraying her union with Mwedzi. From this act came wild predators and venomous creatures, but also wisdom in herbs and healing. The serpent, feeling used, struck Mwedzi with its fangs, introducing pain, aging, and death to Guruuswa's paradise. Mwedzi, weakened, called upon Mwari, who decreed, "Suffering tempers the spirit. From it, learn respect for the ancestors." The Shona people, descendants of Mwedzi's children, preserve this through oral songs and rituals, using it to explain misfortune and the need for spiritual purity. It blends resistance against temptation with the legacy of endurance, as communities seek Monduro guidance to heal such ancient wounds. Mwedzi's children scattered across Guruuswa, learning to honor Mwari and the ancestors to ward off evil. This myth teaches the Shona that life begins in balance with nature and spirit, but human flaws invite chaos, yet resilience endures through spiritual guidance. The great migration from Guruuswa, Mutota's quest for salt. Long ago, when Guruuswa's grasslands stretched like an endless sea under the northern sun, the Shona ancestors lived in harmony with the land. But a great drought fell upon them, withering the grass and drying the rivers. The people suffered, their cattle grew thin, and salt, a vital essence for life, became scarce. In this time of trial, a wise leader named Mutota rose among the Mbire clan, guided by the Monduro spirits of the ancestors. The elders dreamed of a land to the south, rich in salt and gold, where the people could thrive anew. Guruuswa calls us to move, the spirits whispered through the mediums. For the long grass hides dangers, but the south holds promise. And his daughters, including the young Nehanda Nyamita Nyakasikana, who would become a legendary spirit medium, and Peduru, brave and cunning. They set out southward, crossing vast plains and treacherous rivers, facing wild beasts and hostile tribes. Along the way, tests of faith arose. Zvimba's feet swelled from the endless march, and he settled near a cave-filled land, now Chinhoyi. Founding a new clan and becoming a Monduro himself, his spirit watching over the people. Deeper into the journey, they encountered Nyamazunzu, a fierce warrior chief of the Guruve lands, who blocked their path with an army of spears. Battle raged, but Mutota's forces faltered. To forge peace, Mutota offered Peduru in marriage to Nyamazunzu. That night, as the warrior slept, Peduru slit his throat with a hidden blade, avenging her people and opening the way. Mutota and Chingu claimed the territory, establishing the foundations of the Mutapa kingdom. Nehanda, drawing on Guruuswa's spiritual power, called rains to heal the land. They reached the stone hills of the south, present-day Zimbabwe, where salt flowed like rivers and gold gleamed in the earth. Mutota became the first Mambo, his legacy enduring through empires like Mutapa. This myth symbolizes Shona resistance against adversity, the guidance of ancestors in migration, and the enduring legacy of unity and courage, reminding that from Guruuswa's cradle comes the strength to build new homes. The spirit cradle of Guruuswa, birthplace of the Monduro. In Shona lore, Guruuswa is not just a land but the sacred womb of spirits, where the Monduro, lion-like ancestor guardians, first roared into being. Long before humans walked, Mwari breathed life into the tall grasses, creating the first Monduro named Murenga the fighter or resister. Murenga, with the body of a man and the heart of a lion, wandered Guruuswa's plains, protecting the unseen world from chaos. He battled shadowy forces, drought demons and wandering ghosts, using his thunderous voice to summon rains and his claws to defend the weak. As the Shona people emerged in Guruuswa, Murenga chose worthy souls to become mediums like Nahanda, who carried his spirit. In times of war or famine, the Monduro would possess these mediums, speaking prophecies from Guruuswa's grass, spring's eternal life, honor us, and we shield you. One tale tells of a great famine when Murenga's spirit entered a young girl, leading her clan to hidden water sources and fertile soils. But those who forgot Guruuswa's gifts faced wrath, Ngozi, vengeful spirits of the wronged, rising from the earth to demand justice. This myth emphasizes spiritual guidance, where Guruuswa represents cultural resilience. The Mondoro's legacy lives in ceremonies, where drums call ancestors, ensuring the Shona endure invasions and hardships, their identity rooted in this mythical homeland. Did the tale of Mwedzi and Morongo move you? Want to explore more ancient Shona myths that shaped a nation? Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and join us for the next chapter of Guruuswa's epic saga. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you heard this story before? Or what myths inspire you? Let's keep the spirit of Guruuswa alive.